Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to continue working on some Disney pages. So this week we're going to do Disney today and day after tomorrow. And we are doing a couple of, today's layout is basically after we re-entered the park after spending the day in Disney, California. And we re-entered the park through Tomorrowland. So in order to get to our ultimate destination where we were headed over to see Fantasmic, we had to walk through the very center of the park, which was fun because we hadn't actually gotten to do that yet. And of course, everyone, well, maybe not everyone, but like half the people in the park were all lining that area because they were waiting for the parade and the lighting of the castle and various things to go on. Well, they had just lit the castle right before we got there, so as we walked through, they let us pause and we took a group photo, which I think I already showed you in another video, but I have a couple of more of those pictures that are going to go on this layout. And yeah, that's kind of what we're going with today. So today's layout is going to be kind of more, I don't want to say generic, but it doesn't really pertain to a specific ride. It's just some experiences in the park as far as our photos are concerned. We're going to make a really nice frame and accent it with a punch and some embellishments that apply to some of the elements in the photographs that are going to go on this page. So hopefully it'll come together really nice and just be a really nicely put together, clean page. So yeah, let's check out my workspace and get started. Okay, so as you can see, I have very traditional Christmas colors out for our layout today. We're going to be, as I mentioned in the introduction, just working on a nice frame that will go all the way around the outside, and then we're going to punch an accent. We're going to do a little bit of shading because you can see I have two different colors of red here. I have cranberry and I have crimson. It might be the other way around. This may be cranberry and this may be crimson. I can never keep them straight. Then I have some dark green, and those are all cardstock. This white piece of paper right here is actually not a piece of cardstock. It's actually a piece of paper that has been used at the very beginning of one of my paper packs, and it's not cardstock, and I have this piece out here for a reason. It is photo safe. We've been told that we can use this paper on our pages if we want to, but it is just a lighter weight, so it's not thick like you can see this cardstock is. So because of that, I'm going to fold it and use it in my punch. I have tried it. It does work. I wouldn't try it with regular weight cardstock, but you should be able to do it fine with a thinner paper. This is more of a designer weight paper, this white, and designer weight paper you can fold and you can punch. So we're going to fold and punch this white paper for our punching purposes. I have my Icicle border maker cartridge out here. If you don't have one of these, this actually has not been in our line for a long time. It's really, really cool though, and I wish they would make another one. I think it's really useful in winter season, especially for those of us that live in colder climates. I know that people in Florida probably wouldn't get a lot of use out of this, but the people who live north of that certain point, I don't know, the magical weather point that creates frost would get a lot of use out of something like this. So I hope that maybe we'll come out with another one, like we've brought back the tree punch and other things from old CM. So hopefully this one will come back too. Anyway, if you have it, get it out. Hopefully you have something like it if you don't have it. I have repositionable and permanent adhesive, and I have a variety of embellishments taken from different collections from the holidays that have mostly like poinsettias or bows or leaves. I just sort of pulled out a variety of them. We'll see which ones we like better. All right, so these will be for later. I also pulled out a couple of possible journal boxes. This was a tag in one of the embellishment kits, and this is definitely from old CM. This came in one of those little mini kits of things at the holiday time, and this will make a great journal box, but we'll see if I can work it in or not. I'm not sure if I'll have room for that large of a journal box. We'll have to wait and wonder until we get that far. All right, so let me clear a space here real quick. We'll just go ahead and load that cartridge so it's a little bit more out of the way, and I'm gonna move these photos till we get to them. We'll do some trimming of those photos and get those mounted as well. So I'll just leave the photos on my page and get that put up here where it will not tip over. It says here in small print. All right, the green we are going to use to mount our photos on, so that's going to go up there with the pictures. And the red is what we're going to start with. So the white we'll get to in just a minute when we start punching. We're just going to cut a couple of pieces of this red cardstock to get started. What I need is let's see, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 6 pieces of 6 12-inch pieces of paper at 1.5 inches. So we're going to cut using, I believe this is Cranberry, the lighter of the two shades. I believe it's Cranberry. So I'm going to cut 6 pieces at 1.5 inches. Out of the Cranberry. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 more. Oh, whoops. So here we go. Okay, there we go, like that. I'm going to just set these larger pieces aside. We may or may not need them, so not too far away, but far enough. Then I'm going to take crimson, and I'm going to cut 1/2 inch of crimson. Actually, what I'm going to do, this will just make it a little faster. I'm going to cut 3 1-inch pieces of crimson. 1, 2, 3 1-inch pieces of crimson. Okay, then I'm going to take these 3 pieces of crimson and I'm going to cut them in half. So I'm going to line them up. I'm going to line up the edge, the right-hand edge of my paper, with the beginning of the grid on the right-hand side. Can you see how I'm just putting the edge of that paper right there at the beginning of the grid? This end's not staying together as well, so that's what I'm fighting here. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna hold it while I get that to go down. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to come down and go back up, and I'm gonna come back down just to make sure that I have that all cut all the way through, because 3 pieces of cardstock sometimes doesn't enjoy being cut. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our repositionable adhesive. I'm going to take one of my 1/2 inch pieces of cardstock. I'm going to actually just go ahead and flip it over and put it on my grid on my paper. I mean on my grid on my desktop. See how that is? Now I'm going to take one of my Cranberry pieces and I'm going to put adhesive several different places right along the edge of that. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to use this measure as a guide, and I'm going to put 1/4 of an inch of that beautiful crimson paper, just 1/4 of an inch of it showing. Okay, and I'm going to do that with each one of these 6 pieces so that I can ensure they're all exactly the same. All right, so just putting my adhesive in 3 different spots. I'm putting it all, I'm mounting this all exactly the same, so just on this side of the yellow line on my mat. And I'm going to just put this at 1/4 of an inch. Lining it up evenly. You can see that the Cranberry cardstock is just a hair longer, but that's okay. It's not really going to be terribly important for our purposes. Okay, so I'm just going to keep doing this until I have all of these completed. All right, so now we've got all of these with our shadow, which is good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take each one of these and we're going to trim them just a little bit. So I want to put what in construction they term as a miter cut on these. I want a certain number of them trimmed going a specific direction to make a particular corner. So I'm going to cut this at a 45-degree angle, putting the top or the bottom corner there and following the 45-degree angle on my trimmer. I'm going to cut that off. And then I'm going to take the other side and I'm going to do the same thing but going the other direction so that this is an end piece. So I'm going to do 2 of these that are done exactly the same with both ends trimmed at similar angles. Okay? Can you see how I've now got 2 angles coming in? Okay, this is going to be an end piece. We're making a frame to go all the way around the outer edge of our layout. So next I need to make the top and the bottom piece, which means I need an angle that's going to come in like this. So I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to go ahead and put the shadow. Hold on a second. So I want it to be like this. I want the angle to come from this corner in. So I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to put the outer corner on the cutting line and the outside edge of my paper on the 45-degree angle line. This time I'm only going to cut the one edge because we're going to frame the outside of our 2 pages. So this one's going to go like so and meet just like that. I hope that makes sense. So this one, the bottom, we're going to go from the outer corner down here in. So I'm just going to leave the top side up, put the outer corner on the cutting line and my outside edge along the 45-degree angle line and cut that corner off. Okay, then that piece will go right there. Now we're going to do the same thing but for the other side. So we're going to cut one piece that's going to have both angles, remember? So we're going to cut going from the outside corner, outside edge down the 45-degree angle line. You can do this kind of frame for anything as long as it's straight. Once again, outside corner on the cutting line, outside edge down the 45-degree angle line. Okay, so now we've got another end piece. Then we're going to, again, use our outer edge. And let me see, since this is going to be backwards, I just have to, in my own brain, I have to see it. I'm very visual, so I'm going to cut from the outer corner in. So that means I'm going to flip it over. Outer corner on the cutting line, again the outside edge on the 45-degree angle mark. And there we go for the bottom. And then for the top. For the top piece, we want this side cut, which means we're going to deal with that edge. Let me just straighten up this little edge really quickly so that it won't bother me for the rest of the time looking at this layout. Perfect. All right, so we want this edge coming in for this last one. So the outside corner on the cutting line, outside edge on the 45-degree line. Okay, and then there's our other. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere these pieces to our pages before we do anything else, just so that we can have them kind of out of the way. Not an issue. So here's one of our pages. All right, and here is our other page. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these on. I'm going to use my repositionable adhesive so that I get these points very, very tight. I want to be able to make sure that these points are not coming up on my frame. And the repositionable adhesive is going to do the best job of that. So first I'm going to start with the outer side, this side on the far edge. And I'm just going to line this up with my page. And get that put down. Okay. Then I'm going to add some permanent adhesive down the one side. We have quite a bit of repositionable adhesive down the other side. I'll just add just a tiny bit of permanent adhesive there. Then I'm going to just match these angles up so that they line up perfectly. And then they should also line up with the edge of my page perfectly. if all is right with the world. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna go do the same thing on this side. So there's our repositionable adhesive, just a little bit of permanent adhesive just to give it that much more stability. Okay, one side down. Let's look on the other side, or work on the other side. Okay, we'll do this end piece first again.
It looks like the bottom of a window, Mama.
Well, it's a frame, sweetie. Okay, so now we have that put together like so.
Pretty.
Okay, now we're gonna do punch our accents like I was telling you we were gonna do. So let me grab my white paper. And just to make this a little bit easier, I'm gonna just cut some strips out of my white paper. These are gonna be, let's see, I think before I used a 2-inch strip. I'm not sure if you really need a 2-inch strip. Let's try a 2-inch strip and see if that will work. I'm actually thinking now that I cut that maybe what we needed is actually 3 inches. So don't cut anything until you see what's happening here. Let's check. So I'm going to take this piece of paper I cut at 3 inches. I'm going to fold this in half. So I'm folding it edge to edge. If folding is challenging for you, then you might want to try using a scoring blade. That will make it a lot easier to fold. And it doesn't have to be like exact, because what you're going to punch is going to be its own animal. There will not be a fold or anything to worry about after we punch it. So don't worry there. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just line up my punch like this, and I'm gonna just punch down the edge. Okay, and you can see how the icicles are free falling essentially. They don't, this is a chain punch, so it's not going to be connected to a base. That's what allows us to use it as a decorative punch, because it is a chain. If it was wider, I could easily put it in my holder for my border maker, and this would be easier. So if you want to make it easier, be my guest, cut your strips a little bit wider. Oh, hello. I just didn't want to have to take as long to punch, and so I'm trying something different so that I don't have to speed my video up every single time I punch, to enable us to get through it faster. I was thinking if I could punch 2 at a time, then so much the better, right? So we are almost done with these 2. Let's see. These little stray hairs. So there's one and there's two. I'm gonna, let's see, rather than worrying about this 2-inch piece, which I think I probably should not have cut, let's do a demonstration of what 4 inches would get us. So here's 4 inches. And then, like I mentioned, if you're not comfortable with how you fold things, you can take your blade out, grab your scoring blade from back here. Ouch. I'm having some trouble again with this joint on my hands. It's really been bothering me, and I have not been cutting it any slack whatsoever, which isn't helping, admittedly. So I'm just going to score that really lightly, because I have found with my particular scoring blade that if I do anything but score lightly on designer weight paper, I cut right through. So in an effort to avoid that, I'll just do it lightly. Okay, let's grab this and try. What am I doing? Ladies. Struggling today. All right, so we've got this in here. A 4-inch piece gives you 2 inches folded, which is still not going to be enough to catch the magnet in your housing. So you still need to do the fancy post-it trick to hold your paper in the magnet. But then again, it might be faster doing it like that. There we go. That was, I think, quicker to do that way than the other. All right. I'm going to punch one more set of those. I'm going to have to use what's left of my paper, which is only 3 inches. So just to make it a little bit faster, I'm going to go ahead and score my paper at 1.5 inches, just so that I can fold it faster. Putting my straight blade back in so that I don't have to call on one of you to remind me that I didn't put my straight blade back in my trimmer. Okay, and we'll just punch these other two real quick. Lining it up. There we go. Okay. Whoops, well that one came right off my post-it note, which is not helpful to my cause. Right? Let's see if I can. I can't get them to line up, I can always, oh, drat. Got it folded. All right, let's finish this way. Just so that we can be done. Like I said, that joint on my hand, yeah, no slack at all. All right, now I think we are ready to progress. These punches are really easy on your hands as far as giving you a wide space to punch, but it's when I get creative and I try to twist it around and upside down and stuff that makes it put pressure in areas that are not used to having pressure. All right. So now what my idea was that I was going to go ahead and place these cute little icicles coming off of our frame up here. So I'm going to go ahead and add some repositionable adhesive, not along the whole thing, but along, you know, most of it, all except for almost 2 inches on the end. And what I should do is start from this end. That way I can trim it in the center. I'm not thinking very clearly. Okay, so if we go ahead and put our icicles, start our icicles right at that corner bevel. And I'm just starting them about halfway up the shadow. And then I'm going to use my precision point scissors and just trim right there in the center. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing coming down the side. What am I doing? Here we go. Actually, it's going to be this side we want all the way. So I am not doubling that completely up. I just sort of started it at the base of the thick part across the top, if that makes sense. Okay. Now we're going to do one more. And I know it doesn't make a lot of sense to have frost coming up, icicles growing up, but our icicles are growing up. So that's the way it is. It's reminding me of the monster page we did just this past Monday. They look like teeth. All right, so that's the left side. Then we're gonna jump over here and do the right side. one more piece. All right. There we go. Let's see. So now what we need to do is take a look at the photos that are going to go on this page and possibly trim some of them down. So I'm going to remove our pages for a second and take a look at these. Actually, wait a second. Strike that. I'm going to bring these back down so I can lay these out and decide what's going to go where. Then we'll figure out what we're going to mount. So this beautiful gazebo is somewhere near the property. That one's going to be trimmed. That one's going to be trimmed. That one's going to be trimmed. You can see there's an eating establishment, and then there were these cute little statues. My son took these pictures, and so I'm not exactly sure. Now see, I was right near there, so it's got to be close to the center of the center spoke of Disneyland that all these cute little statues are, but I know that that's not where this statue is. This statue is right in the center of the hub. This one's gonna get trimmed. All right, and then we have, this is probably the most beautiful picture of the castle that we took, and I'm pretty sure my son took that. So we're gonna have these two pictures kind of over here. I love that we can see your dream is a wish a heart makes, I think. Your dream is a wish your heart makes, I think is what that says on the ground. And I'm just gonna trim a couple of these up and we'll see what we can fit on here. Give me a second here. Hello.
May I ask you for a favor?
Sure.
Can you have a moment? Can you pause so you could braid my hair like a Dorothy Gale with hands?
Like Dorothy Gale?
Uh-huh.
Are you dressing up like Dorothy Gale?
Yes. I'm giving in to it. That's always called it my Dorothy dress.
He does always call it. So this is Emily you're hearing asking for her hair to be braided. She's
Because I'm
got
lame.
this very cute blue checkered dress.
Can't braid my hair.
And every time she wears it, her dad says to her, "You look like Dorothy Gale from Kansas."
And I can sort of braid my hair, but you do it prettier.
And it's Halloween. No, it's not Halloween. Halloween's tomorrow.
It
What
is,
are we
but this is
thinking?
a Halloween dance.
Oh, Oh, there's a Halloween dance.
It is. Don't you want me to meet
There's
a
a
handsome
Halloween
man?
dance. Of course, I want you to
Allure
meet a
him
handsome man.
with my cute Dorothiness.
Well, I don't know about luring, but
No, not lure, allure.
allure. Allure him
What are you going as, Heidi?
with your cute.
Athena with a feet due to the cold.
Is your dress supposed to be blue on the bottom?
Yes.
Okay.
Heidi is an Olympian. Well, maybe not an Olympian.
Dun,
but-
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, you're right, Mom.
Yeah, okay. You need you even have a laurel wreath in your hair. That's super cute. I like it. I like it very much. Muy macho.
Muy macho.
Hopefully I can get these apart.
Your shoes are funny.
All right.
I'm sorry. No mocking from the peanut gallery.
No mocking.
Miss Peanut Gallery.
That's my name.
I do know one thing. I am bringing slippers because I
These crazy
can.
thingies work.
Okay, just
I
trimming
can
these
see.
down so that so that we are not going to cover up all the hard work we just did, right? And I'm going to just trim off just a tiny bit over here, but I want to be able to see that little statue so that it clues us into why there are other statues hanging out on this layout. Makes sense? All right, I'm not going to put my trimmer too far away because I am going to mat several of these photos. So let's go with I think I'm going to mat the photos of Walt and Mickey and mat the photos of the castle, but I'm not sure I'm going to mat the others. So let me just see.
These will work.
I have that feeling too.
They fit your feet better than mine.
No, they don't.
You sure about that?
I'm positive. But I cannot wear them. I am Dorothy. I need red footwear. That's good.
I can give them to Haley. She can play with them.
They look like donkeys. Sorry.
I'll give them to Haley later. She can play with them.
You speak as though your sister is 3. I'll give it to the baby. She can gnaw on it for a
She
little
is
while.
the baby. She's not gonna, hopefully she doesn't gnaw on anything. She's 18. But she is the baby, so. It's her fault for being born last.
I love you, Mama, but Emily can be a brat.
All right, let's see here. So we're gonna have
Hello.
these guys like so. Maybe move these guys down here just a little so we get more of that pretty icicle effect around the edge. Scoot these guys in just a little.
I think it needs an ornament or two.
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
I'm not done, but I am going to adhere all these cool things. So give me just a minute. right, so those are all glued down with the exception of this one right here. And the reason I didn't put that one in was because I remembered that I had wanted to add a journal box, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. So I thought, well, I'll just leave that one off for a minute and we'll figure this out. So some of these leaves look a little more, shall we say, cartoony than others. This is a portion of a mat that I cut out for something. Some of these poinsettias are just really look more realistic than others. You can kind of tell which things were designed to go together. The poinsettias were a part of a different collection than these other things. All right, so let me see. I really like these, and I'm thinking that maybe we ought to combine some of these. How many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. So we could put 2 flowers and a bow in each place, or we could put, I don't know, I'm just sort of, as my husband would say, spitballing for a minute here. I think those flowers would look nice there. I think maybe these would look really pretty up here. Maybe one more down here. I could use this, but the coloring is just a little bit off because I really do have red and white going here, red and white and green. Could use this. These colors kind of match the colors in this photo. No, you know what? I'm just going to use this area right here and right in that, and I'm not going to worry about this photo because it really doesn't mean that much to me. So I think we'll do that. Maybe I'll add that little sprig of green to this guy down here just for a little touch of something. And we'll save the rest of these for a different page. Let me grab my foam squares and we'll get these put down. And I've got some that are going in here. There's some. Let's see if I have any other small ones. Slightly smaller, not tiny though, but that's okay. I think these will be fine. So I'm going to just pop these up just to give them just a little bit of definition. They don't need a ton of definition, but just a little. I'm just going to put one on each flower. And then kind of add them in about like so. And this one, we're going to put a flower on, and I'm going to add just a little bit of repositionable adhesive underneath that. Well, kind of there. Put it there so it kind of blends the whole side together. That'll be good. And I'm just going to add one more piece of foam square just to kind of give that a little support. We'll add that in right here. I don't think we're going to need the bows. Although we could add a bow. Could add a bow to the side here, but I think it's going to get lost in the frame. I don't think it's really necessary. I think we're going to skip it this time around. There. Bye guys, have a good time.
Love you.
I love you too. Alright, so these guys are gonna go right up here and decorate up this corner. Pretty poinsettias. Okay, I think we are about done with this layout. Let me know what you think. It's not the most crazy kind of layout, but I really like the depth that adding a darker color to the frame adds. It kind of gives you a sense that you're sort of peeking into something, which is like kind of nice, or looking out from somewhere, which is also kind of nice. So yeah, I really like the way this came together. I think it's not always necessary to mat every single photo, but I mat the prominent ones that I really feel like deserve extra attention, and then the rest of them, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Today was one of those don't days. So yeah, let me know what you think. I hope this is something that you can mimic in your own albums, and that it will inspire you. And until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Thanks so much. Have a great day.